Hello everyone, today we will show you the movie Iron Sky. Let's get started with the video. The film starts in 2018. 70 years have passed since World War II. People have left the Earth in 1945 and now a group of generals have the Earth and are living on the Moon. This group is by General Wolfgang Kurzfleisch, who has managed to capture an extensive military base on the dark side of the Moon. They're biding their time while working on the technology that will allow them to launch the Götterdämmerung. It will be the key to reclaiming their home planet as the mother of all warships. Back on Earth, the Sarah Palin-like U.S. President, Stephanie Paul, has sent James Washington, a black astronaut, well, actually a model, to the Moon because I thought it would look good. Her re-election campaign, however, is in jeopardy, putting a strain on ruthless campaign manager Vivian Wagner. The lander carries 2 astronauts, one of whom is an option. The movie features several Black to the Moon pun posters featuring the specially selected new African-American male model on the Moon, James Washington, to bring in U.S. presidents with their relanding. Upon landing on the other side of the Moon, they meet the descendants of the Nazis who fled to the Moon in 1945, referred in the film as the Fourth Reich. Washington is captured as the other astronaut dies. When James is apprehended on the Moon, his smartphone signals a technological breakthrough for the Nazis, whose equipment is still stuck in the 1940s. It can also be seen that a Nazi scientist named Mr. Richter is present on the Moon. He examines Washington and receives his smartphone, which, like a Fourth Reich computer from the 1940s, assigns him more computing power and can be used as a control unit for the massive spacecraft. Questioned and tortured by the ambitious Nazi Klaus Adler, Washington is turned over to the suitably mad scientist Dr. Richter, where he is Aryanized in a bizarre albino-style experiment and his cell phone confiscated for use in the Nazis' reinvasion project. When the scientist tries to demonstrate his miracle weapon to the current leader, Wolfgang Kurzfleisch, the phone's battery quickly drains. When they see the processing power in his humble mobile phone, they realize that the only way to launch their flagship spacecraft, the massive Götterdämmerung, is to go to Earth so that 2 Nazi officers, ruthlessly ambitious Klaus Adler and idealistic English-speaking teacher Renate Richter, are dispatched to Earth to collect more mini-computers. He takes Washington with him, who's been Aryanized by Dr. Richter with an albinizing drug. Upon landing in New York City, they discover that Renate has been hiding with them. They leave Washington after he put them in touch with the president's campaign advisor, Vivian Wagner. Now, you can also see what is happening is that Adler and Renate are promoting the president's re-election campaign with Nazi rhetoric. Wagner's plan is to use the Nazis to resurrect the president's stumbling re-election campaign, leaving poor Washington stumbling around New York like a bleached-out hobo. Meanwhile, while Adler and Renate are being praised on Earth, the Führer is preparing his invasion plans on the Moon. Renate knows nothing of Adler's ambition to replace Kurzfleisch and rule the world. After 3 months, Kurzfleisch lands on Earth and confronts Adler, but Adler and Vivian kill him. Adler declares himself the new leader before returning to orbit on Kurzfleisch's flying saucer and leaving Vivian, but taking her tablet with him. At the same time, Renate is convinced by the homeless Washington that Adler has the intention of a worldwide genocide. While Renate knows about the plans of Adler, she is now trying to combat the possible attack on Earth by the mighty Nazi force. Shortly after, the lunar Nazis launch a massive attack on Earth with a fleet of giant Zeppelin-like spaceships called Siegfrieds, which fire asteroids like rockets and fire countless flying saucers into New York City, where they destroy the Statue of Liberty, Freedom, and bomb the city. The United States Air Force attacks the flying saucers with some success. The United Nations meets to discuss the Nazi threat posed by the Moon. These nations include Canada, Japan, India, and North Korea as well. There is an interesting situation and conversation going on in the room, where the Madam President of the United States asks the different nations if the Moon base and spacecraft are theirs. I swear, we have nothing on the Moon. Japan? This isn't ours. China? It's not us. North Korea? It's our damn thing, I confess. Yes. Confess to what? The spaceships are ours. Our beloved leader designed and built them himself. What's so funny about this? All right, North Korea, sit down. Then it was you, India. I knew that. No, that's a peace sign. That's the peace sign. These thugs are Nazis. The president then appoints Vivian to command the secretly militarized USS George W. Bush spacecraft, which carries nuclear and energy weapons, only to find that most other nations except Finland have also secretly armed their spacecraft. Now, there is an interesting conversation going between Madam President and Vivian, as if Vivian is some kind of war hero or something. "Vivian, you look great. How's it going up there?" "Madam President, it couldn't be better. I'm packing dozens of megatons of nuclear warheads that I carefully guard Klaus's cabbage ass as soon as I get my sights on. I'll keep it up. Kick butt. Come on, let's see what this baby can do." Working at optimal capacity ammo consumption within tolerance, we are under extremely heavy fire. Now, after this, they are sent against the Nazi fleet and destroy the Siegfried. Adler arrives with the tablet on the flying saucer from Kurzfleisch to activate Götterdämmerung. Renate and Washington ride Adler's flying saucer to Götterdämmerung, where Washington turns off the engines while Renate visits Adler. Meanwhile, the International Space Fleet is damaging the Nazi moon base and closing in on Götterdämmerung, dwarfing them all. As the commander of Götterdämmerung, Adler destroys parts of the moon to expose the Earth to his line office. During the fight, Washington disconnects Vivian's tablet from the Götterdämmerung control panel, while Renate kills Adler before he can shoot the ground. Renate and Washington escape separately when Götterdämmerung falls on the moon. The President of the United States congratulates Vivian from the UN meeting, whereupon Vivian reveals the presence of large helium-3 tanks on the moon, whose possession she immediately raises the only claim because their possession ensures an energy supply for millennia. This infuriates the other members of the UN who are caught in a fight while the international fleets test each other. The conversation between Renate and Washington goes like, and it's very romantic. "It's okay, and you are what you're supposed to be. Did you know that you're kissing a black man? I guess we have a lot of work to do." And this doesn't stop there. They even kiss in front of a confused group of Nazi survivors to whom Renate assures they have a lot of work for them. The final moments of the film appear to show the Earth during an international nuclear war. At the end of the credits, the planet Mars was revealed with an artificial satellite in orbit. Although the plot is overstuffed, especially for a B-movie, the film does an admirable job of balancing various types of humor and storylines. Rather than making tired Sarah Palin jabs, the film uses the character as a caricature of a typical politics-obsessed president, but one who is a scumbag and stupid enough to use Nazis as a campaign tool and still screw it up. But she's a minor character in comparison to Renate, James, and Klaus's antics. Iron Sky finds amusing ways to add racial humor, social critiques, and clever parodies to the silliness of the moon Nazi hook. What are your thoughts on it? How do you like this video? Comment down below, and we'll see you in the next episode.